Guys, in this last section, we're going to be looking at some reflections over the x-axis and the y-axis, depending on where the negative sign is at. So, it says, sketch the function j of x equals 2 to the negative x. After that, indicate the domain, the range, and the vertical asymptote. I said vertical, I meant horizontal. I apologize. Now, there is a negative attached to the variable. When there's a negative attached to the variable, then put that in black. That is a reflection over the y-axis. Once again, when there is a negative attached to the variable, that is a reflection over the y-axis. Keep that in mind. When there's a negative attached to the function itself, that is a reflection over the x-axis. Okay, because we're reflecting over the y-axis, you're going to change the sign of every x-coordinate. So change sign of every x-coordinate. I know it gets confusing because you're thinking, oh, if I'm reflecting over the y-axis, you should be changing the sign of every y-coordinate. But no, that's not the same. When you go from this side here to that side there, the only thing that's changing is the sign of the x. Because on the right side of my function, my x's are positive. But then when I go to the left side of the function, the x's are negative. So once again, you're going to change the sign of every x coordinate. And the y coordinate will stay the same. So this first coordinate right here, this is the coordinate of -2 and 1/4. Change the sign of the x coordinate, make that now +2 and 1/4. Next coordinate that we have here is -1 and 1/2. Change the sign of the x coordinate, which makes that +1 and 1/2. Then this point right here, this is 0, 1. It's on the y-axis, so you cannot reflect it. And also, because the x coordinate is 0, you can't change the sign. 0 is neutral. This next coordinate right here is the coordinate of 1, 2. You reflect that coordinate across the y-axis, that becomes the point of -1, 2. Then we have the point of 2, 4. Reflect that across the y-axis, it becomes the point of -2 and 4. And then we have the point of 3, 8. Reflect that across the y-axis, that becomes the point of -3 and 8. After that, you're going to sketch the function to the best of your ability. And I always say that because my abilities are straight garbage. See, I missed that coordinate right there. And that's going to be j of x equals 2 to the power of -x. And once again, that was reflected across the y-axis. Domain of an exponential function is infinite. The range. Now, if you look at the right side of the function, it is approaching the x-axis. The x-axis has a y value of 0. It approaches but does not touch. Therefore, the lowest y value the function is approaching is 0. On the left side of the function, this function is going up and up and up forever, which means the value of y is going up and up and up forever. That is going to approach positive infinity. And then the horizontal asymptote, as just stated about 30 seconds ago, is y equals 0. So yep, that is how you sketch this function. Now we're going to do the last one. And the last one wants us to sketch function k of x. And that's going to be equal to -2 to the power of x. Because there's a negative in front of the function, that is a reflection over the x-axis. And when you reflect over the x-axis, you change the sign of every y-coordinate. So, this point here is going to be -2 1/4. You reflect that across the x-axis, that becomes the point of -2 and -1/4. This here is the point of -1 1/2. Reflect that across the x-axis, that becomes -1 and -1/2. This point right here is 0, 1. Reflect that across the x-axis, that becomes the point of 0, -1. This point right here is 1, 2. Reflected across the x-axis becomes the point of 1, -2. Once again, you're changing the sign of every y coordinate. The point of 2, 4. Reflected across the x-axis becomes the point of 2, -4. And then, last but not least, the point that is up here, the point of 3, 8, reflected across the x-axis is going to be the point, I got to scroll all the way down here, so let me zoom out, the point of -3, well, the point of +3 and -8. So it's 3, -8. And then you're going to sketch that to the best of your abilities. Oops, messed that up. Let's try that again. Okay. Graphing was never my strong suit, guys, as you guys can probably see. That's the function of k of x equals -2 to the power of x. Domain for the function is exponential. It is all real numbers. The range of the function. Now, this range will change in this case. If you look down here, this function right here goes down and down and down forever and ever and ever. As it goes down and down and down, the y values are decreasing indefinitely until we approach -infinity. Now, you're down here at -infinity. Come all the way back up. This function is approaching the x-axis, which has a y value of 0. Because it doesn't cross nor touch, that is going to be parentheses. And once again, the horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 0. And that is it to exponential functions. That's all that you need to know for your exam. I want you guys to study, practice, and sketching these, applying transformations to them, and you should do just fine. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.